And David, don't use this section. This is for these guys only.
Now it's time to ramp it up. What's up, everybody? This is it. So, we've been through all of the other challenges, and there's two things we haven't done yet, and these are the final two things. The first one is, you need to record an informational video on what you're going to do to market this. Meaning, let me put it this way, a marketing video for your vertical, specifically for your vertical. Something outwardly facing, something educational. And I'm specifically not giving you a ton of instructions on this because by this stage of the game, if you have followed my blogs and my killing commercial videos and read my book and interacted with us to this point, you should have a pretty good idea on what it is I'm going to be looking for. The only hint I'm going to give you is it can't be all about you, period. The second thing you need to do is you need to build an email template that you're going to use for cold email marketing inside your vertical. Here's something else I want to talk to you about. If you have not been pushing this on social, you are going to have a very hard time getting into the top 3.
I use a lot of video already in what I do. And I don't know, I typically send, I've never made a template video where I send it to everybody.
Gotcha.
I'm usually if I'm calling on Joshua Lipstone, I make a video for Joshua Lipstone.
Okay.
In this situation, do you think I should do that, or should it be more of a template? Like I'm going to blast this to my entire prospect list. I don't know.
If you're David, you blast it across your list. If you're Cass, you're doing what you do. So tough. Maybe you do both.
I've been trying to, I don't know, the marketing video, I'm trying to decide, do I go commercial style or just legit fade in, here's my value props, this is why you want to use this, not so much fluff.
I would go back to what David said in the video about not making it all about you.
I didn't plan about making it all about me. I planned about making it all about my value propositions.
Okay.
But what I'm talking about, but I can still fluff that up a lot.
Sure.
With cinematography and stuff versus just standing there.
But this is what I would use if I was doing this. I'm the kind of guy, I don't reinvent the wheel. Shit's already been figured out. I got other shit to figure out that people don't want to figure out. That's where I make my money. It's right here. It's Rogue Risk. It's on his website, but it's also a landing page that he's used forever and turned it into a website, whatever.
I would probably say more of the talking head over the more commercial for this type of video.
So basically what I've done, over this weekend, I tried to research and I went back to Hanley's website to try to figure out, I know you and Cass had mentioned that that's kind of your mindset of where brothers is wanting us to go with this. So through Zywave, I can set up an email template. We got a pretty solid offering of resources that we can use, as kind of the email template showing what they would get, how it can benefit them.
Yeah.
I can, if you want me to share, I figured I could attach a document like this to the, just talking about how to develop work comp strategies to reduce cost. And then also have a link to either our website or a second document.
Okay.
Somehow that links to a landing page, kind of doing a email template.
Yep.
So I don't know what your recommendations are on a subject line. I want to make sure it's eye-catching, but I don't want it to be spammy.
Well, you could say work comp should not be frustrating. You could always pose it as a question, say why work comp should not be frustrating.
Okay.
So are you guys what kind of email templates are you working on?
All right, so this is first name. I'm not sure if ABC Contractor Inc. is at risk or not, but OSHA has issued over $4 million in fines related to coronavirus compliance. See below. And this little clip is taken right off the website for the Department of Labor, and it shows that there's been over $4 million in fines handed out for COVID-related citations, non-compliance issues.
I like your email. My critiques, you can take them with a grain of salt, whatever. Where you say click here to schedule, instead of making it that really long Calendly link, take that link and then on click here to schedule, copy that, and then you can actually put it as a hyperlink as that. It looks cleaner. What are you doing for your subject title? Because that's going to be, so the subject title, I spend a lot of time, I do a lot of email blasts to my clients and I track it for open rate, click rates, et cetera, bounce rates, everything. What's your subject title?
I thought about using the word OSHA because it's kind of scary. So like OSHA compliance, or I've heard you can merge like the business name in there somehow. It increases the open rate. Or if you ask a question, I don't know. Do you have a recommendation on that?
You should make it sound like, have you done this yet? Meaning, have you done the OSHA compliance for COVID, whatever, et cetera. So make it sound like it's an assumption, like they did it, because I'm sure 99% of people haven't.
I hate to give my competitor, Ryan Hanley, credit, but he had a podcast guest that was awesome a couple weeks ago. And he was talking about how to write a cold email. And I think before I turned this in, I mean, either one of you, I would listen to that podcast.
Behind the scenes, my team would do the cyber risk assessment. I'm sure you guys seen that before. And then I did diarrhea of the email right here. And basically, I was trying to go after companies between Boston and New York. So my whole hook was I'm located in Connecticut, so I'm a local broker. A lot of these guys have national players. And attached, you'll find the cyber risk assessment. As you can see, there are several vulnerabilities within your organization. And I'm more than happy to fix these problems, blah, blah, blah. I can clean up the email length and everything we just talked about, but I think the video is what I'm struggling with.
I just really feel like whatever it is, whether it's the cyber, whether it's, whatever else that anybody's going after, if you can learn those words that people use in their business and you speak to them in that way, I mean, I think people respond.
Well, here we are, final submission, challenge 7. Just got done shooting the final video and it's wrapped up. Going to do some editing and get that submitted this week. Without any further delay, here's challenge 7 submission. Here we go. In the next 4 minutes, I would like to explain to you how commercial risk advisors can help your company decrease the total cost it takes to manage your risk and increase your profits. Hello, I'm Brady Neal, founder of Commercial Risk Advisors. And for the last several years, I've been managing my own companies. And I've found myself sitting in a similar situation that you might be sitting in, where I have to learn how to trust the process, where I leave risk mitigation and risk management up to my commercial insurance agent. And for the longest time, I thought the biggest bang for my buck was in paying my insurance premiums and trusting the process and allowing that agent to place my risk in the certain market that I could get the lowest premium. And I was so focused on premium. But when I started to really dive into managing the risk inside my companies, I started to learn that I was spending a lot more money in completing audits and workers' comp claims and different departments handling this and that, and creating a resource for this safety mechanism and a resource for this compliance date. And I began to understand that there was a lot more cost involved in managing the risk inside my company.
At Commercial Risk Advisors, we like to start every one of our clients off with a total cost of risk profile analysis. Our second high five is access to the Commercial Risk Advisors Risk Resource Library. Compliance tracking and reporting tool is our third high five. A fourth high five is our real-time workers' compensation monitoring and reporting program. Lastly, Commercial Risk Advisors wants to come alongside you when it comes to claims reporting, claims management, and our claims reduction system. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video and learn more about Commercial Risk Advisors, and we look forward to serving your company.
So I like what Brady did to package this. The idea of having an embedded video is a good idea. It gives the person who's curious the ability to click to hear more, and it's a great way to measure whether or not you're capturing people's attention. If I wanted to be critical, which I do, if I want to be critical about this email, I would say that it's too long. Cold email, 2 to 3 sentences tops at the very most. You really want to capture their attention with a great subject line and then just 2 to 3 very short and concise sentences. And then if they want to get more after that, that's what's going to lead them to click on the video that's been included. I would have probably changed the subject line to be something along the lines of "You're paying too much for your workers' compensation," or "Do you know if you are overpaying?" or something along those lines. I think that the subject, essential resources to help with workers' comp claims management, lends itself to somebody saying, "Nope, don't need any help with that. All good. Insurance company takes care of us." And we've lost a golden opportunity to make an impact on somebody who more than likely needs our help. So I would tweak the subject line a little bit. I'd shorten it. I'd get a lot of the high five stuff out of there since it's addressed in the video, and then go from there. I feel like that would be a better approach based on what works in email today. And trust me, I've tested it all. That being said, solid submission from Brady. This just needs a little bit of tweaking, and that's something that you learn over time. You send it out, you don't get the results you want, you tweak it, you do it again. I get it. This was his first run. He can learn from this, tweak a little bit and move on, but it should be smooth sailing for Brady into the top 5 based on this submission and everything he's done thus far.
If you're like most business owners, workers' compensation is a scary phrase. It seems to be an expense that continues to drain your bank account, and you've been told that there's not much that you can do about it. My name's Derek Hayden with Danzig and Shelbyville Insurance. Our agency has developed a process that allows our clients to minimize their costs associated with work comp and turn it from a business expense into a performing asset for your company. By following our proprietary risk lock comp process, we help you identify issues and put programs in place to reduce your cost and maximize your profitability. Our agency provides a number of solutions that allows you to take tasks off of your plate in order to focus on running a profitable business. Some of those solutions include a 24/7 HR hotline, an employee handbook builder, a learning management system, OSHA record keeping, our HR assistance portal. So what are you waiting for? Contact us now to help you take your insurance and work comp program to the next level and give you a leg up compared to your competition. Let's go ahead and take a look at my email template first here. I'll show you what I've done. So this template is for the target market of work comp that I've identified in the previous challenges. So you're going to see how I tie in all of our previous challenges into this one email template to market what I can do for that particular niche industry and niche market. So what I've done is I've linked my marketing video to this template, and there's two or three different ways they can click to watch the video. There's a link here, the actual photo can be clicked, and then I have another watch this video link down here. In the body of the email, I've got links to our website that discusses our work comp program, and we also talk about the risk lock comp process that we created a few challenges ago as well. Then also, here's my marketing flyer that we created in the last challenge. So if I've dropped this off to a business, this is going to be brand recognition. They've already seen this in their hands. They should know exactly who it came from and what it's for and how I can help them. And of course, what I can do then is target those who have showed interest by watching the video, possibly watching it multiple times,
and I can contact them and hopefully create that first meeting opportunity to close that business.
So Derek, just like Brady, put a video into his email. I'm a huge fan of that, but there's something that he didn't do, and that is keep this thing short and sweet. His email is 2 pages long, and in the digital advertising arena, you have to understand the value of having information above the fold. And basically what above the fold means is on the screen as it's laid out without you having to scroll. That term sounds weird because it's digital, but it came from the old newspaper days when a newspaper would be folded in half, somebody gets it, and when you look at it, it's above the fold is the top half. So Derek has some good information in here. I do think it's a little bit overkill for a cold email. What I would have liked to have seen was, again, 2 to 3 sentences, take the graphic of this video, bring it way down, make that thing like a third of the size that it is. People are going to click on it anyhow because they see the big red triangle with the circle around it. But get everything you can above the fold. I did like his titling. I did like the fact that he's linking to the video in several spots. I like the fact that that video is embedded on his website and it's got a contact form for people to fill out. I just think that he will do himself a lot of good if he condenses this down. And then with the ebook, instead of having the graphic for it, or I'm sorry, not the ebook, but the actual marketing slick, instead of having that graphic offset and over to the left, I would almost rather see his email signature be brought up level with the rest of the, way things flow, and then just have a quick hyperlink to it that says to learn more about RiskLock or to download the RiskLock process or something like that. Click that. I think that that's too much. And I also get concerned when there's that many graphics in an email, whether or not it's going to bounce. So overall, again, really good job. Love the video, love the content of the video, love the RiskLock strategy. Really like seeing all of this stuff that he's worked on over the course of the competition get drawn into one thing. And he nailed it on this with just, again, some minor tweaks. But again, this is the first time. So some of this stuff you have to practice and learn as you go. But Derek's definitely safe in making it through to the final 5 with this performance, which is right in line with literally everything else he's done.
First of all, the marketing video, mine looks something like this. So here I am with my mask on for like the first, 5 seconds of the video. And I'm on the United States Department of Labor website. And I'm talking about initially how OSHA has already issued over $4 million in fines related to coronavirus. And then I go on to talk about a little bit things to consider, such as the proper way. Do you know the proper way to file a first report of injury regarding a COVID-related illness? Is your preparedness plan in place? Because all Minnesota-based businesses need to have one. This other video I created was in my truck, sitting in front of a prospector client's place, speaking about, again, some of the COVID compliance, pandemic compliance related things to consider. And the template email itself is right here. Subject line, OSHA citations. Now, if that popped up in my email box, I'm pretty sure I would open it. OSHA's kind of scary. So then it would be, of course, directed to them. And it says here, I stopped by your office, but you weren't available, so I left a note in the biohazard bag. So in my previous challenge, I talked about what I would leave behind as far as a marketing slick. I hope I got your attention with the bag, because OSHA has now fined businesses over $4 million who were not COVID pandemic compliant. Here's a short 2-minute video. That's the one where I'm sitting in my truck that I recorded for you explaining this. I need about 15 minutes to ask you a few questions and let you know where you stand. Please reply with a time that works, or click the link below my name, and that's my schedule right there. Click here. I wanted the email to be short, not look like a mass email. Every time I get a mass email that's not like directed toward me, or it doesn't look like somebody actually sat down and typed me an email, they just go right in the spam, and I'll never see them again. So I wanted it to look like it was more personalized.
I really like what Jason Webb has put together here. His video was spot on. It was short. It was to the point. It definitely was something that employers needed to know about. But what I'm really impressed about is his email. Now, some of you may be looking at this wondering why he didn't do a JPEG with the hyperlink embedded in it so that there's an actual picture of his video in there. I'm honestly as big a fan based on recent tweaks to how emails are received of just a straight text email. He kept this thing short and sweet, exactly like I advised on the other ones that we've looked at, but he also used a great headline, OSHA citations. That's going to capture the attention of a lot of people. So Jason did not overthink this one. I think that this actually may be his strongest submission out of the last 4 or 5, and probably going to be just enough to push him into the top 5. Well done, Jason. I really like seeing that you're progressing through this process. It's also not lost on me that in his video, he mentioned that he likes stopping by first. That's a page right out of my book. I would much rather cold call somebody, then follow up via email, as opposed to trying to open an opportunity through email. Now, obviously, we do both at Florida Risk Partners, but for him to acknowledge that and realize there is an advantage to cold calling is huge. Something everybody should be paying attention to. So good job on this. I feel like it's a cement for the top 5 for Jason at this point. Well done.
David. Psst. David. Are you listening?
I know you clicked this link because you saw your website with a ransomware plastered all over the front of it. Let's not let that happen to you and your business. A data breach is going to occur every 9 seconds in 2021. Don't be one of those affected individuals or businesses. Yes, you had a data leak a few years ago. Let's stop that from happening again. Click the link below, schedule a time on my calendar that works around your calendar, and we'll make sure that doesn't happen. Chat soon.
So I would tell you that Justin Sloan stole the show on this week's challenge. He nailed it. It is short, it's sweet, it's got the video embedded. You click on it because you're interested in what he has to say. He has a little humor in there with the Kevin McAllister thing. Talks about not letting cyber criminals in. At the subject line, don't let the bad guys into Florida Risk Partners, which he's personalized it to me as the recipient. But here's what I really like. It gets real crazy when you click on it. He's personalized this with my website logo and went to one of his cyber carriers who did a cyber risk assessment on my company. Now, possibly a little showmanship. Yep. But you know what? That's exactly what it takes to succeed in the middle market. And it's accurate because I did get absolutely had my rear end handed to me in the Wawa data breach. Thanks, Wawa. Your amazing breakfast burritos do not supersede the fact I've been through 3 debit cards in the last 2.5 years. Regardless, 100% spot on. This will catch somebody's attention. It will get them to click. But not only that, I like what it says here. If you like the video, let's chat. You can click there. And what does it do? It takes you right over to Justin's Calendly. Well done. I can't think of anything at all that I can say that would make this any better other than maybe if he were to have this thumbnail right here customized for each person that he's sending this to. Based on the account sizes he's targeting, I don't think that that's asking for too much. That would be one tweak, but one that's not even necessary. This is an awesome work product. Justin nailed it. Welcome to the top 5, Mr. Sloan, without a doubt. the thing with Ryan Keating, it's the exact same thing that I've said a couple of times now. The issue that we have is we've got to have a call to action in our email. If you don't have a call to action, what are you really doing? I love the whiteboard video. I think it's catchy. I think people will watch it. I think it's a little too fast, so maybe needs to slow down a little bit. But nowhere in his email does Keating give anybody anything to click through so that he can measure it and capture how much time they spent on his website or any of the other things that go with it. One minor tweak, and he'll be golden. Everything else in his email was spot on. But he talks a little too much about what they do in the body of the email, and it doesn't leave anything to the imagination. And as a result, there's no call to action and no way for people to go anywhere to find out more. I think he's safe this week, but I'd have liked to have seen him have that call to action. It would have made all the difference to the world and would have taken him from being lower middle of the pack all the way up with the front runner. Well, we've come to that time of the show where, unfortunately, I have to talk about who has been removed, voted off the island, whatever we want to call it. And I'm sad to report that this week is the last week for Mr. Tyrone Shelton. Tyrone really put his best foot forward in every single challenge, and I know how hard he worked to get there. He just needed a little bit more. He needed a little bit more consistency. He needed a little bit more polish. And that's only going to come with time and experience. And when you get to this stage of a competition like this, it's really difficult to be able to keep up with people that have pushed themselves even further or might be a little further along in their career as a producer than what Tyrone is. I would not be discouraged if I were him. He's competing against some of the absolute most promising production prospects in the entire country. And I look forward to watching him take those lessons he's learned over the course of his time on the Protege and use it to propel his career to a completely different level, because it doesn't stop here for Tyrone. He's just getting started. Tyrone, I wish you nothing but the best, man. Thank you so much for participating. You brought flavor to this competition, and the most important lesson that you taught every single one of us is that you should never be afraid to get outside your comfort zone. If you're comfortable, you're not learning. So this week's an interesting week. It was really, really close, and I feel like everybody sort of has everything dialed in at this point. If I were to come up with the theme, it would be the emails need to be shorter and the actual calls to action were on point. I felt like that part was pretty good. The biggest thing you have to remember when you're sending out email or any other type of solicitation to a possible prospect is that you need to have something that can be measured as part of that process. That means that you need to have a landing page or a link to a website or some sort of a code, whether it be to get to password protected content. Whatever you come up with, you want to be able to measure it so that you know that it is effective. Because the one thing I can tell you that's consistent in the marketing game is it changes every day. You have to be willing to adapt to whatever the trends are. And you can't do that without measuring what you're doing. This has been an awesome experience. We are down to the top 5. You now know who those top 5 are. And for the next 3.5 months, they are going to be producing. They are producing with the information they created as part of these challenges. And we will announce the top 3 in the middle of August. It's coming, people. This has been recorded way before you saw it, and they have been out there. We have had people get over $70,000 of new business revenue just in the time since they stopped competing on the show. We can't wait for you to tune in to the season finale that's going to be at Jason Cass's Brainshare in San Antonio, Texas, September 13th through 15th. You're going to have an opportunity to vote for your favorite contestant that's still standing live in the season finale. Hope to see you there, and thank you so much for your support. Do me a favor, if you learned anything at all from the show, leave some comments on the videos, drop me a line and let me know. And if you think it sucked, tell me that too. We'll do whatever we can to make it better. Thanks again for paying attention. It's gonna take people like you and me to change this industry, and stay indie, people. Have a good one.